Ho, ho, ho everybody, I'm No Lex Given and Merry Christmas. Today we're going to be taking a look at Mrs. Claus to celebrate the day. It's kind of tradition, that's what the holidays are for as well. And we did look at Mrs. Claus last year, so I thought now would be a great time to revisit her. I'm not sure if we've looked at the hero since, but I also wanted to take a look at her on the new patch with the new UI and the new patch with some of the new updates, specifically Godmother. I think that Godmother does a lot in terms of just encouraging you to play good characters. Giving them all +2/+2 is a really, really powerful bonus and something that you might want to be doing anyways. So I thought that right now would be a great time to look at Mrs. Claus for that as well. Now, having said that, I actually don't do anything with Godmother in this game. That's kind of a bait, but that was part of my theory as I was thinking about playing Mrs. Claus. Now, didn't actually wind up coming to fruition in any capacity, though I definitely still think that it's something strong that I'll want to try on the hero in the future. And speaking of strong, very great timing on this segue here, I'm going to go for 4 Glory. I'm feeling pretty nice with the fact that we've got 2 Sherwood Shore Shots and a Frog Prince already, and I think that we're going to be able to win this combat and grab a free level 3 character going into 3.0. I guess not quite free. There's some opportunity cost there. We didn't pick up the happy little tree, and we're not going to be able to win this fight, unfortunately, but we do get to crack my opponent's Humpty Dumpty, so you know what? I'll take it. It's a little bit unfortunate that we cracked their Humpty Dumpty and that we wind up not grabbing that free unit, but we still grab some pretty powerful stuff here. I'm going to pick up Black Cat for the turn. That way I can pick up the Good Witch and lock onto the Princess P. But one thing that I want to take note of here now in the rewatch, I'm not sure that this Fates player, they either just quit or they're just never able to restabilize. And I'm not sure which one it was, but they do not do super hot after starting undefeated and then me cracking their Easter egg. So that at least speaks well for Mrs. Claus. The fact that she's been so strong that she was able to just bully a player right out of the lobby and grab a win on them because of it. We're also going to grab a Sadrak, and here's another place where we can maybe put our strength to the test. A Wish Upon a Star. This is definitely not the direction that I thought I was going to be going in with Mrs. Claus, but we're definitely strong right now, and we can pick up this Wish Upon a Star. That is going to mean that we're kind of going to skip a little bit through level 4, and maybe that's partially the reason that we don't find as many Godmothers this game, but you can't turn down a free XP spell here, and again, not free, but the fact that you can grab a bonus XP if you're strong enough, which I do think that I am. The fact that we're spawning additional sheep from Princess Peep and that they're getting the plus bonuses as well, but then also that we have the Good Witch to support them is what I was getting at there. My opponent actually trying to grab some bonus XP on us. They are already up 2 XP, which is pretty incredible for Loki to have rolled 2 XP spells, but also incredible, it's not enough. We get a win onto Loki, denying them some XP and making me feel pretty confident that we can grab some XP ourselves. I'll pick up this Baby Root, which is a nice little power spike here as well, and then we'll jump ahead into the next turn. But feeling pretty good, 60% to kill that Loki. We can see that the Fates has definitely been dropping off as they are now towards the bottom of the leaderboard, and they're just going to keep on drifting down before we meet them again. But are we going to have the stats? Looks like we will, to be able to take out this Merlin. So pretty nice stuff. One thing that oh wait, this is going to be close. Oh no, the Cursed Throne actually gets us there as my opponent's Sherwood Shore Shot is able to go crazy. So really unfortunate, and yeah, just kind of sucks. But we'll pick up a Court Wizard here now. That is at least somewhat good, and then I'll pick up another Court Wizard. I also like the Friendly Spirit that we have available, but I really like these Court Wizards. Being able to play 2 Court Wizards that both have +1/+1 as well, because we are playing Mrs. Claus, I think is really strong. Let's jump ahead one more time, and then I'll jump back here. But I think that this is a really strong start to the game to pick up 2 Court Wizards on 4.0 and to be playing otherwise all royals. We're going to have a bunch of Court Wizard attacks in this combat, and playing 2 Sherwood Shore Shots in the front row is also good because Sherwood Shore Shots have to get attacked into. So this combat RNG goes very well for us, other than the fact that we cracked their Juliet before we crack their second Romeo. That is going to mean that their second Juliet is a little bit bigger, but it doesn't matter. We still grab the win there with some Court Wizards. So pretty nice stuff overall. And what do we have as options here? Nothing really. And then in this shop, we get a bunch more range characters. So let's triple these up, make them a little bit stronger. We could try to Cursed Throne ourselves like that Merlin was doing. I don't think that that's terrible, but I'm going to go for Needle Nose Daggers and just keep trying to grab some wins here. I think that this is slightly better. It's a little bit silly because we could lose some combats, but it's really good with the Princess Peep and really good with our ranged characters as well. And then here I just have to decide if I want to try to pick up Juliet right now, and ultimately I am going to do so. And the sooner we get Juliet in, the better that winds up being, because then we can just get more and more Coin of Sharon bonuses onto it. So I do think this is a really good start to the game as we are into 4.2 now. Juliet is going to get that Coin of Sharon bonus, and then I think we're going to have enough stats with these Court Wizard triggers to take it, though it's going to be pretty close. We'll have to see how far our sheep are able to take us. We actually get the loss and lose our Needle Nose Daggers, which is unfortunate. And I believe that if we take a look at our win percentage, 74% to win. So just a little bit unfortunate that we don't grab that. We'll pick up another Court Wizard though, which is nice. And at some point, I might want to consider doing something a little bit silly. And I don't think I'm going to go for it just yet, but I definitely already have it in mind. Maybe I do go for it here. I can't remember exactly which turns I do this, but if we can power up Court Wizard with the Coin of Sharon, that is kind of big, and it's very silly to do so, but in doing so, it'll just mean that our Court Wizards are stronger for the rest of the game, and it's worth taking like slightly less win equity on one fight to then be so much stronger for the rest of it. Basically just add a free Wizards test to it. Now, it doesn't actually wind up working out. The Coin of Sharon goes on Julia, but it's hard to say that it didn't work out because either our Coin of Sharon goes on Juliet, which we get double uses out of, or it goes on a ranged character. So either way, we're doing pretty well for ourselves there, and we're still strong enough to walk away with a win, despite my opponent having those Hermes sandals there. So really good stuff all around. I will feed my friendly, my Frog Prince rather, to the Kraken. And now we're up against the Ghost. We are up against that Fates that we cracked their eggs from a long time ago. And we are going to take this opportunity to get a little bit greedier even still. I'm going to pick up a Sky Castle, and then I'm going to activate this Romeo. And we've got some interesting options here. We've got Telltale Quiver when all of our characters are ranged characters right now. That is definitely tempting. But the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play a front line that is double Court Wizard plus a huge Juliet. Oh, looks like I go for Merlin's hat here instead anyways. Oh, and I can't even cast the Kidnap this turn. I think that was partially part of my reasoning. But now, Coin of Sharon is guaranteed to go on a Court Wizard, and it's a very weak turn, and it looks like Fates did try to play it out here for a second. They just weren't able to come back in the game after losing their large egg and their investment for that entire early portion of the game. But this is where things get cool, because we just got +4/+4 on a Court Wizard, and now we get to pick up another Court Wizard. So we're going kind of Court Wizard crazy. We could even continue to frontline one of these Court Wizards, which would allow us to backline the Romeo. It's actually not even a greedy play. It just might be the right one to do. So we'll take a look at this for a second as well. I think that either of these could go well for us. The other thing to consider is that my opponent is playing Sad Drac. So how is that going to impact my ability to just go nuts with Court Wizards in this game? I'm going to wind up rolling and then settling on a Toil and Trouble, I think. I do potentially like Robin Wood. We could sell off 2 characters to pick that up, though I like all my royals at the same time too. And ultimately, I just really like this board overall. I'm going to wind up picking up that Toil and Trouble. It's got some decent chances to land on Court Wizards, and then I'm going to roll past some more Court Wizards. I didn't think there was really a tier 4 treasure that we needed. Maybe 3 of Swords could have been a good treasure for us, but I think that we're in a good place regardless. Now, my opponent actually playing Lightning Dragons, and that's important because that means that my Court Wizard in the front line was potentially even more protected. But we are still going to have enough power here with our last remaining Court Wizard to take my opponent down. But very interesting combat to think about. My Sherwood Sure Shot winds up getting that Coin of Sharon bonus. I am considering picking up another Toil and Trouble now that we are on 6.0. It worked out pretty well for us. I am thinking that I'll want to backline that Court Wizard that we have in the front line eventually, so that's definitely something that I'm considering. And then the main thing is Good Boy. Good Boy's going to work really, really well with Coin of Sharon, passing on that +4/+4 to everybody, but I am going to take a quick look for Treasure Map because it only costs us 3 gold here to pick up. So I'm going to pick up Treasure Map, and I do have to kind of make a tough decision about what I'm going to toss. Ultimately, I am going to toss that Sky Castle because I'm really just looking for good boys at this stage of the game, and then I got to sell one more thing in order to pick up this good boy, and this is a toughie, but I'm going to sell out of Romeo, and I think that this is the direction that we want to move in. And Treasure Map also obviously very, very strong with good boy. There's some very good tier 6 and tier 7 treasures that we can make work with the goodest of boys. And you can see with just one good boy, our Court Wizards are about as big as my opponent's whole team. So this is really sweet. And also they're going to trigger anytime any of my frontline characters get attacked into beyond that good boy. So really, really strong stuff there. Playing up against Horde Dragon now, and I'm just trying to find, I guess, a Court Wizard so that way I can make another treasure. We could also make Lancelot work, potentially. It's a little bit short to activate Lancelot, but we can actually do it here when we throw in Boomhilda. Should have maybe gone for the roll the die first. I realize that now, but we can still just roll the die now, and even though it's less likely to hit Lancelot or Boomhilda, we can sell off the 9 Sea Terror, and then we'll be able to activate Lancelot this turn, and then that will allow us to grab a tier 7 treasure. So pretty sweet way to cap this one off. No need to put Lancelot in front of the Boomhilda, the good boy plus the Lancelot. That'll be 27. So that is more than enough. And I might even like to keep around the Boomhilda. Getting some additional attack on all of these Court Wizards is actually quite nice. And yeah, Boomhilda might actually wind up being worthwhile there. Pretty funny combat because my opponent uses Cupid, which means my Court Wizard attack. I'm actually even going to rewind it because I was talking over it a little bit, but I think this is really fun. Cupid hits one of my Court Wizards, which then takes out one of my Royals, triggering both of my Court Wizards. So this is just very, very silly of an interaction here. It means that my Court Wizards get to go pretty nuts to start things off here. They will tear through my opponent's backline, rip up some Juliets, and then Lancelot will make one more Juliet for them, but we'll be able to eat them up pretty easily here and grab a kill onto Horde Dragon, putting us into the top 3. We are going to grab a tier 7 treasure now. And Holy Grail, I almost never skip, but Magic Sword plus 100 is just so perfect for this comp. It's going to mean that Good Boy gives 100 attack to our entire backline, which is just absolutely insane and so much power, but a little bit tricky in this exact scenario. Reason being, my opponent was playing Lightning Dragons. So instead, I'm going to frontline all of my Court Wizards and backline all of my Royals. I told you guys that would be important, and this is exactly why. We're going to try to next level this Sad Drac here by just completely flipping around the order of our board. Let's see if it works. They only have one Lightning Dragon, and one of my backline characters, both of them, are going to get taken out by spells, but here come the bonus attacks. And those Court Wizards get to go crazy, and that's actually enough to just grab the win here. It is a little bit close, but we do grab the win and the kill onto Sad Drac, and actually win the lobby from that, as Merlin dies to the ghost that we just defeated. So pretty quick game, pretty crazy one, and yeah, definitely a sweet one. I got to go pretty nuts with the court wizards there. We tried some really funky tricks with the coin of Sharon and that kind of stuff as well, and didn't get to like see the full build of it all ever come together, but ultimately I thought this one was still pretty fun. But that is going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Happy holidays. I'm No Lex Given. Peace.